Alright, do we have audio now? Do we have audio? It looks like it. Let's see. Alright. Yep, looks like we have audio now. Try and get someone to verify that, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, sweet. Alright, so basically what I said was I had no time to prep this. I just got home from work, took a shower, and started streaming. So yeah, stuff like the audio not being on at all, that's going to happen. The background music is going to buffer a lot. I have terrible internet. Didn't have time to get anything set up for that. Not really a whole lot I can set up for that, but I guess I could download some music. Oh, I'm also half asleep, so there's that. The competition is going to be going under some very serious changes here soon, within the next few weeks. So if you haven't got the prizes that we have in there right now, enter, try and get those prizes, because soon we're going to be redoing all the prizes, I think, in the competition, getting rid of the ones we have, play some of the new ones. I asked in server feedback what prizes you guys wanted for the competition. Haven't got a lot of answers yet, but if there's add-ons or asset packs or material packs, then let me know now, because I'm going to be trying to get a hold of some of those within the next few weeks to use as prizes for the competition in the future. We're going to be re-amping competition entirely. An entirely new way of selecting themes, and we've got a lot of stuff coming out for the competition, new rules and everything. So we want to be making some bigger changes. The competition's been dying down over the past few weeks. Last week was pretty good, but we like to get back up to where we're getting 15 entries a week, the minimum. And since there hasn't been anything really new with the competition, it's grown stale, so time to bring some life back into it, and that is going to start with new prizes and new themes, a new way of selecting themes, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So if you have an idea for a prize, and it's not going to be cash prizes, whatever it is, I have to be able to give out on a weekly basis the same thing over and over. So it's got to be add-ons or something where I can contact the owners of it and, you know, make purchase it, a one-time purchase, and then with their permission keep on giving it out to the first place winners every week. With that out of the way, there's probably something else I'm supposed to cover. Don't remember. There is something else. I just don't know what it is. Yeah. So something I did want to mention is we are currently at 29 subscribers, I think, on this channel. Yeah, so the Twitch channel, if you've been watching since we started doing the Blender Roast streams a year ago, we had, I think, 400 to 600 followers on Twitch. We were the largest Blender related Twitch channel as far as I know. You know, it was going really well. I screwed up one day. Well, Twitch screwed up. They had a glitch where you couldn't log into your account for a whole day, and I wasn't aware of it. Derek messaged me about it, and the first thing I did was change the password, because I was logged into it but couldn't log out and log in. So I changed the password. Problem is I lost the phone that I used for the mobile authenticator for it, and when I changed the password I couldn't log back in, and yeah, I couldn't get the mobile authenticator. And Twitch's support has been less than helpful. It took them a month to send an automated reply, and there has been we've tried multiple times, and none of us, me, Derek, and Austin, have all tried and failed to get a person to reply to us. We're just getting a bot message, and it literally takes 3 to 5 weeks to get that message. So they've been less than helpful, and odds of us getting back on Twitch is not very likely, but we'll see how it goes. Until then, if you guys can subscribe on YouTube, once we have 100 subscribers, I believe we'll be able to get the custom name and stuff on YouTube. But yeah, there's that. Alright, moving forward. This first render is by HP 2009, if I recall correctly. Again with the music buffering in the background, but at least it won't get copyright struck this time. Probably will, but it's for no copyright music, so or no copyright sounds. Let's see. Yeah, no copyright sounds, so better not get struck. Alright, let's see. The first render is by HP 2009. Really liking this render. I saw it and I thought this was gonna probably end up winning this week. I've loved the trees. First of all, the trees look absolutely fantastic, and they're not the same tree over and over. I do wonder, is that a mesh or did you use image planes there? Because it looks like that's a mesh, but that's got to be really heavy on your computer. It's pretty insane. Gosh darn it. Alright. Not having a good day today. Alright. Okay. So this here seems a little, the exposure here looks weird. Another thing I noticed is the trees seem a little desaturated overall. I wonder if I can adjust. Darn, I haven't used Photoshop in a while. Yeah, in my opinion, you sound like that looks better. Definitely don't want to take it too far, but this is what it looks like if you just made it glow a bit more. See, that by itself, in my personal opinion, that's an improvement. There's a lot of firefly. I'm just gonna delete that. Can't see through the stupid mic. Alright. There's a lot of fireflies right here. I love the textures that you used on this, although it is a bit strange for fingerprints to be this large. Also, there's nothing wrong with this render. It's definitely intriguing. There's not sure what this is, some sort of alien spaceship maybe. But really, there's nothing that I can say that's actually wrong with this render. It's going to be just down to an opinion, really. Because aside from the fireflies, of course, the fireflies are wrong, but it's like you got dirt down here. That looks pretty good. Thin out this brush a bit. You did a fantastic job on the trees. They're very convincing, to be honest. Those are probably the same tree, but I mean, it's like maybe rotators on because you can't tell. Honestly, looking for similarities in the trees. Maybe that little circular pattern there, but way too hard to tell. This is honestly just a fantastic render. Congratulations, you did a really good job. Trees are probably rendered billboards. That's what I would do personally, but look at the angle on this. This looks, I feel like that's what I would do, but I don't think that's what he did. Because the lighting is just happening way too, like, there's no way. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. there's no way that that's just a 2D plan. If it is, that's best use. Like that's better than the one that Zach Reinhardt did when he did a tutorial for it like 2 years ago. I thought that one was really impressive. So there's nothing wrong with this render. I'm too tired to try and critique this. This is honestly fireflies and it's desaturated, and that's it. That looks good. Fantastic work. This in here is by Birdie Bronze, Pi Sign. It's probably a face, I just don't see it. Birdie Bronze. The first thing that stands out where this entire scene would be better, like the biggest improvement you can make, in my opinion, would be the lighting. There's a lot you need to work on in this, but the lighting could change the scene for the better. I think a lot more than anything else would. For one, the lighting is highlighting this wall, but you have no focus on the wall. I'm not even sure what you're lighting this table with. It's like you're doing it with an area lamp or something. That might be a light right there, but it's out of view. It casts very soft shadows, but if that's a light, it should be a light bulb, correct? And light bulbs are typically yellow unless you have a fluorescent light, which I don't understand why you'd have that in a pool room. It's I mean, you could obviously, but you usually don't. And also, you don't usually have lights on if you have daylight streaming. It's something you want to avoid when doing your ArcViz renders, is putting interior lights on during the daytime. So I'm gonna pretend you don't have any lighting in this at all, because I wouldn't light this scene during the daytime. Another thing is you're missing your pool sticks. I just realized there's pool balls everywhere, but there's absolutely no pool sticks in the scene unless... No, that's a stole. Yeah. So no, you need your pool sticks, pool cues. No, I don't know. I haven't played pool since I was like 9. What I would do is I would put a sort of an old industrial light right in the middle. I'd make it hang down more. I would change your camera angle. I would lower it and definitely increase the perspective. Right now it kind of looks like an orthographic render of sorts. I'd change the placement of these stools. Honestly, all the stools here, they're kind of out of place. I would stage this during the nighttime, and I would make it a very dusty room. Pool is often associated with bars, at least for me. Yeah, your cue stick? I don't know. I guess I haven't played pool in forever. Lol. I would say just maybe with some moonlight coming in here, very soft, and then a yellow light with dust and just a lot of ambient. Use volumetrics in it. My thoughts are completely incoherent right now, but it doesn't really matter. I'd contrast yellow and blue lighting here. So blue in the background, okay, but where the light's shining, which would be on here, pool cue. Okay, yeah, that sounds right. Where the light's shining, I'd have it a very like a orangish yellow color to it. Maybe some beer bottles here or something, I don't know. Lower the camera, more perspective in the shot. Bevel the edges on this. Looks like I cut my hand on this here. This isn't enough room for pool balls to sit down in. Your pool balls are supposed to come down here, right? Assuming you're doing one of those pool tables. But I think that, no. Ah, hell, I don't know what I'm talking about, to be honest. Assuming you had reference for an entire pool table and that's all correct, the bevels, you need to bevel that out. But assuming that's all correct, I'd choose a different wood texture, or I don't know, that wood texture might be okay. It might just be the lighting on this. The sunlight definitely is off-putting. There being no focus on the pool table aside from being in the center of the camera, really. I'd use some depth of field maybe. Maybe even zoom the camera in and focus on a single pool ball or the game itself. You know, maybe if you put the camera like in this area, and was looking where your focus was, like right here, and you had your light on it, that might look interesting. If you want to do a far back shot, I would definitely make it more of a bar scene and less of grandma's living room where the pool table is. Because right now, it definitely looks like grandma's house with a pool table in it. And like Mexican style stoles. Not really sure why I think those are, I don't know, they kind of remind me, like, maybe it's the sort of stucco walls you got going on here or something, I'm not sure. They do collect in that slot. Okay, that's what I thought, but that doesn't make sense because I know you have to make, I don't know. Yeah, they do. I'm not even sure what I'm confusing with. So yeah, you need more space right here because that looks like there's an inch of space, not whatever a pool ball is. I guess it'd be like 2.5 inches. Yeah. Tile. I don't know. That's a weird texture for this. At the very least, do something interesting with the lighting. Okay, if you don't take any of the advice that I gave you on like the yellow, if you don't want to do the yellow lighting, the bar look, do something, just delete the light you have, do something just really weird, really just make the lighting different. It doesn't have to look realistic. You know, you can go for a, you know, just contrast it, play with the color, go to the extremes, and then you can dial back a bit, but find something that looks cool to you. Okay, but never go with drab lighting like this, where it's all, it looks like you just have a giant area light in here and there's sun lamp to put a highlight on the wall. Don't ever do that. Don't settle for that. You know, put some colors in your light. See what looks right to you. See what contrasts. See what makes the scene come to life. And then, if it's too much, you can dial it back a bit, make it a little bit more easy on your eyes. But you know, you just be creative with it. 2.25 inch. Okay. Also, pool balls are typically completely glossy. These look pretty soft, although that could be. No, it looks like you used an area light right there. And fun fact, area lights reflect. You see them in the reflection. And that there definitely has roughness to it. So take the roughness all the way to 0. If you're using a principled shader, put it like 0.03 or something. Just ridiculously low. It needs to have some roughness, but it shouldn't be visible. Or at the very least, it shouldn't be that visible. Like, you should be able to see very clear reflections in the balls. You don't want to be perfect. You don't want to be a mirror, though. But nothing in the scene is dirty, so I mean, there's no reason why it wouldn't be. Like, it wouldn't be grungy in the scene. So I don't know. Also, a rug here might help. Some sort of rug, because I would hate to have these feet on that tile personally. So maybe placing a rug here the pool table is sitting on. It'd also help if the pool table's feet aren't all perfectly on the ground. Used an emissive torus. He could have, but I see a reflection of what looks like a plane right here. it looks like a plane because a Taurus, you know. But I don't know. Can't see it. It looks like he tried to model a light here, but he didn't want to show it at all. So it kind of just looks like a glitch or something. I don't know. Those blinds are awful weird too. I'd go with some cloth ones. There's plenty of tutorials out there on doing cloth curtains, but just play with this. You know, don't be afraid to experiment. See what looks good. See what looks bad. See the good, bad, and the ugly. Right. All right. Next render on the blue ball there is a circle. That blue ball is really rough though, so I don't know. You might be right there. You might be right. I don't know. Can't say. All right. This render here is by Lincoln. Mr. Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. All right. Lincoln Dean. I like this scene. Like, just straight out, it's very simple, it's very clean. I like it. The yellow here is a bit strange. The seats here don't look like they really have a purpose, and they look like they're made of felt. I would think in a scene like this, you know, given the state of everything else, the clean nature, I would imagine that to be leather. You know, it could be cotton or something, but I can't imagine it being like this. This is it kind of looks like just plain foam. It's got way too much subsurface scattering going on here. But the scene overall, it's just so clean. Really like that. Big image you have here. Love how the light just bleeds in here like that. It really just, that's all I can say right now. Is it looks really clean. The carpet though, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be carpet or cement or something else entirely, but maybe just try doing cement. I don't think tile would look right. If it was tile, I don't know what color tile you'd want to go with, but the color of this, it contrasts it nicely, but I don't know about what it's made of. Not sure what the purpose of building like this would be either. Maybe it's a museum of sorts. Maybe it's like a strange rubber floor thing. Did you actually have reference for that then? And if you did, also maybe some trim around the floor here. It's a museum? Okay, cool. What kind of museum would this be? Like an art museum or like a history museum? He made it based on the Denver Art Museum. Art Museum. Thought so. Nice. Oh shoot, if you have actual reference. Denver Art. Denver Art Museum of Colorado. Ooh, I've seen this place before. That's pretty. Shoot. Is this actually like a room in this museum? Because I would think there'd be, you know, for a museum, I'd think they'd put like paintings or something up on the wall somewhere. But if it's like actually a room, then I can't really say that. Oh, I see the floors you're talking about. That's really accurate too. At least on the staircase. It appears the floor itself, at least in this image, is a bit shinier. Like it has a polish on it. But the staircase appears to be that exact same texture. The floors, the floors are definitely shinier in here though. And they do appear to be a concrete of sorts, maybe? I don't know. That might even be like a hardwood flooring with a lot of polish. That's kind of weird. Beautiful place though. Let me upload a link to the ref. Alrighty. Yep, I found your reference. Don't worry about it. They have totally different chairs in there. So they do have different. First of all, they have a they have like a vector up on the wall of some very abstract looking shapes and stuff. Oh, those are knives. Okay. Those definitely add contrast to this wall and make it look less empty. And less like a clay render. The floor in that shot is brick. It's a brick tile look. That would be really easy to copy as well. But it breaks up the floor bit, which I think helps. A black carpet with... I probably should bring this image over. Alright, so... yeah, the black carpet with the table, white table, and black chairs, you know, that all contrasts really nicely. Black windows, that's pretty nice. The lights right here work really well. Honestly, I like the fact that you colored the light behind the stairs, and like you can definitely tell, like you did a really good job of recreating the scene. There are some small changes. I like that yours has more color in it. You contrasted yellow and blue in yours. I feel like that looks really nice on there. I would include, if not these knife designs, that I would do something with that wall though in yours. And maybe change up your chairs. It doesn't need to be exactly like those, but you know, something along those lines just to give it more contrast. Looking at this image, your chairs look really large as well now. But they also had some discs hang on the side of the staircase to break up that bit, which worked pretty well. So some lights here. Try those black frames out, but I don't know. The white frames work too. You know, kind of dig it. But I like the yellow light. That was definitely an improvement there. Really good job remaking that scene though, because those are some weird angles and you really nailed them. There's an angle here in that shot that... oh, this and right here, but you were zoomed too far in to see it, I think. Yeah. So, alright, good job, Lincoln. Looking good. This here was made by Mr. M. Really? That? Okay. I thought that was someone else, but I love this render. I straight up love this render. Let's see. Alright, so I'll pick it apart first, and then I'll say why I love it. But don't know where my mouse is. The banner, very unconvincing fold right there. Same over here. It looks like a very low poly plane. You subdivide a few times, you did a very simple cloth simulation. And this here, you can afford to bevel these out a bit. Okay, subsurface, I don't bevel it, I don't care. Just do something with it because that's very jarring. Darn, I think that's it. I don't think I really plan on critiquing anything else on this. that there's a bit too smooth. We're being done it up. That there isn't crumpled. The textures on that's a bit weird. You didn't actually go with the wood. Those textures are going like that. I guess that one there is okay, but these here are not acceptable. It kind of feels like that's a texture, and it's I think that's part of the painting actually, but I don't know. Like that looks like it's part. If that is supposed to be grunge and stuff, like there should be more grunge. It should be more 3D feeling. Because right now, I think this is all grunge up here, but I can't really tell because the texture is faded, but it's just too grayed out. I feel like the back wall should be more saturated and stick out a bit more and stuff. Because it just kind of fades into the background. It looks a bit strange. The textures, I would really like to see you do this in Substance Painter. Because you can tell you just use a tileable texture over this. Doesn't even look like you UV unwrapped it. And I feel like the texturing, the materials are pretty good, but the texturing is where the scene falls apart. And some random little poly props. I'm guessing you probably have a pretty weak computer because you're using shortcuts. I used to do the same thing. Like if I could get away with doing stuff like this, I would. I did a couple jobs for a studio back when I had a really crappy computer, and I had to do stuff like that. One, because my computer was off. One, two, because it was going into bigger scenes. But yeah, that's it. On to the good stuff. The lighting and atmosphere is absolutely insane on this. Like, I absolutely love the lighting and atmosphere that this render is giving off. I love the moss on this drum in particular. Looks pretty good on here, although I'd like to see it like maybe drape down a little bit on this. It looks a bit weird having it so sharp on that circle. Again, like this here, I would just say screw topology and just sort of bend that up, put proportional editing on, bend the topology up, and then see what Subsurf can do with it and just make it look like it, it got all tore up there. The rust is pretty high there considering that's tin. Tin usually has a very low surface rust on it, usually doesn't swell up like that, and you have very jarring rust there. So you have very thick rust here, but here it looks like it's brand new. The moss on this rock, there's moss growing up, but it doesn't bleed out into the rock at all. I'm grasping at straws here, but gotta deal with it. Love the dust in the atmosphere though. The atmosphere and the lighting on this, 10/10. Looks fantastic. Depth of field, focus. I love the scene. It feels an amazing scene, honestly. Fantastic work. It almost feels like an advertisement. It does feel like some things were rushed a bit. And if you don't have a bad computer, I'm gonna guess that you put this in, this, maybe the stool. I'm guessing those things all went last. And you did the drum, the rocks, the plants. I'm guessing those you did first. And you put the most time into them. And then you just sort of rushed through the end of it. And that was the grill and stuff. And you just wanted to get the project done. Because you can tell, it almost looks like it was done by two different people. Because you have so much, like this wire here is so high poly. At least it looks high poly. And then you, I could count the vertices in this. without even seeing the topology. So yeah, it looks like it was done by two people in that sense, because it looks like you just rushed through those, and then you put like so much time and effort into this, and you put so much time and effort into lighting and the overall the mood of the scene. It looks fantastic. It really does. I'd love to see you finish it. Work on like this here is the biggest thing to me, and then these the posters, because they look like they're made of denim or something, and then fix some of the texturing issues. But fantastic work on the scene, absolutely fantastic. And again, that was done by Mr. M. Next render is done by Atlantic. Atlantic used lower resolution images, please, for God's sake. It not kidding, it took me like 10 minutes to download this image. Yes, my internet's that bad, but zoom in for days on this. Okay, guess not. Maybe it's not that high resolution, my internet just sucks. Don't know. As far as the skull, the modeling and everything, the scene looks fantastic. I really hope this is an HDRI, because the background looks... Gosh darn it, my thing unplugged itself. The background looks super realistic. And then there's this box. It looks like you use a transparent shader with a texture on it. No, don't. That doesn't look like glass. That doesn't look like real wood. It doesn't even look like fake wood. It's just really weird, the reflections on that. The materials, just put more effort into it. That's all you can do. Work on the materials, because the materials are what kind of ruins it. If you could texture, like I would hand texture the skull, modeling wise, which is where you spent most of your time. Clearly, the skull looks really good. You did a really good job on it. Looks very clean. Looks anatomically correct to me. I don't know a whole lot about, what is it, coyote skull? Wolf skull? Coyote skull, yep. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it looks correct to me. It looks real, pretty convincing. So yeah, shaders is where the scene goes wrong. Lighting could be better. Rim light, just more interesting lighting. But when you're using HDRI, you're basically saying you don't care too much for lighting. You just want to get something in there to showcase it real quick. So I think modeling is what you're trying to show off here, and you did a pretty good job in modeling. No critiques on modeling, just fix the shaders and work on lighting if you want to. But yeah. Next render is also by Atlantic. The shaders look like plastic. Maybe that's the intent. Maybe this is Pokemon. I don't know. The pose is very static. The fingers look like sausages or something. I don't know. Those are kind of weird. I don't know. It's pretty much a furry, so don't know what to tell you, dude. That's the biggest problem with it. Oh, heal. Doesn't look like an HDRI. Never mind. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was an HDRI. But as far as this goes, I don't know what you was going for here. It's probably a Pokemon. Maybe it says in the thing. It says Atlantic MKX. I could Google it. I don't want to. I probably don't want to know, but let's see. It's so screwy. Getting tired. I've been tired. Alright. 10,000 years to give you such a prick in the neck, right? What? Why am I getting cars? Alright, whatever. Not gonna bother with this. It looks like plastic. The lighting is meh. The modeling, I don't know. God darn it. Gosh, dilly darn it. Should be a set of abs here, but that's on a person, so I don't know, dude. You modeled a furry. It looks like you rendered an Eevee. Those shadows are way too hard to be cycles. Way too pixelated. Yeah, I don't know, but this pose is really static. The materials are lackluster, and it feels, the modeling itself feels like it's plastic too. Maybe you're trying to model a toy, so I don't know. I just kind of get that vibe from it. I'm not sure. Alright, this in here is by, and the last one was by Atlantic as well. This render is by Tumama Laka. I'm not screen rant. No. Why? Oh, they're typing something. They're probably gonna yell at me for mispronouncing their name. I need ideas for menu items that are also magic puns. Wrong person to ask about that. The most magic I've ever seen was watching Harry Potter, and I didn't even watch all the movies, so yeah, that's about the most I know about magic. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like you're going for low poly based on the cars in the background. Low poly is typically not glossy, and you don't have this in low poly. I would recommend, if you want to put some plants in there, model. You know, you could do like an icosphere or something. I would model out some, almost so they look like game props or something. But you know, chunky leaves like that, but large, so it'd be like plates almost. That's how I would do it personally, but definitely not like that, because that takes away the low poly look, and it just looks like a really bad high poly model. That door is way too thin to be double doors. That's a single door for sure. Doors are 2.5 feet to 3 feet wide per door. That's like maybe 16 inches, if that. So no. Just add more props. There's nothing to tell me that this is magic, so maybe add a door and put like a moon in it, and maybe instead of using opaque windows, use translucent windows, and inside put like some magic hats or something. I guess oh dang, there you go. Upside down stars. Harry Potter has movies? Yeah. I'm Alright, let's see. I'm just flipping between windows now. Bricks are too wide. Also, be careful using textures in a low poly look. It doesn't always work out for the best. And if you do use them, maybe use like a hand painted one, where like I'd have it all one color and then just like have a brick here, and then another brick here, and maybe another brick here, then a brick up here, brick here, brick here, but it has to be like hand painted. Textures don't usually go, yeah, it looks like one of the free ones off of textures.com, but textures don't usually go with low poly. It just doesn't look right usually. So if you're gonna use it, then if you're gonna use a texture to make your own and just paint it in, take some time in Photoshop, paint a brick texture. There's tutorials on there for how to do that. Especially if you don't have Photoshop, there's a tutorial for hand paint textures in Blender, and the one I'm thinking of, I don't remember who made it, but it was the most popular hand painting texture. Hand painting in Blender for over a long time, and it had a very similar style to what I'm talking about. It was on low poly game props and stuff. So yeah, something along those lines. Next render. This one here is by Joris, or Joris, I don't know. Horace? Demo. Depends on where you're from. It's abstract. I like it. It kind of looks like it's from Steel Series, just the colors. The intersections do look a bit strange. And particularly in places like this. So if you want to do something about it, well, it might help the render out a bit. That there looks like the reflections in these are pretty sharp. It's a bit strange, but I don't think they are. I don't know. Not sure what's happening over there. The background, honestly, is the only thing I can say about this. It's abstract. Dark background doesn't exactly help it. Maybe a gradient, or maybe a white background made with a wire frame in the back or something. I don't know. You know how they have the wire frame and then they have all the vertexes are little balls and whatever. It's all random. Looks like it's been decimated or something. Something along those lines might look interesting, but not 100% on that. Really nothing to say about that. The intersections kind of make the scene look weird to me, but no white background. I don't know. Maybe if you stuck with the dark background and you put white topology lines in the back, maybe that would work. Yeah, something like that might just something to break up the background a little bit, because I don't know, it's just kind of, it's so much empty space there that it kind of catches your eye in a weird way, and it's not a good thing. Not sure. Moving on. This in here is depressing to me. This one is done by Rose Red Tiger, and of course you'd make this just before the competition theme crystals. That's depressing, because that's such a dope entry for that. This would have won guaranteed. Because it's very creative. I love although Rico Silliers did a crystal dragon like this. I don't know if maybe that's a thing and I just don't know about it. Probably is. But I love this. This looks awesome. The crystals look really good, really stylistic. Absolutely love them. Looks like you might have sculpted all these scales, in which case I tip my hat to you because that is absolutely amazing. The scales look really good. I think he used a particle system because, well, yeah, I can't see how you didn't use a particle system for the crystals. But they look like they're coming out here a bit awkwardly. It would have been so much extra work, but it might have been worth it to like sculpt around. Maybe if you would have avoided using these smaller crystals and sculpted around these larger ones so that they sort of come out of the skin and they come out a bit more naturally, like horns or something. That might have, helped. But the biggest issue with this, I think, is inside the mouth. The thing has whiter teeth than I do, and definitely glossier. And the tongue is the reason my tablet isn't working. The tongue it has like zero roughness, and it just looks really strange. There's no texture to it, no roughness. It looks very off-putting. So lighting on this is superb in my opinion. I think he used low quality glare though, because that's not very smooth. It kind of looks choppy. So if you just increase the glare quality to high, I think it'll shrink it down a bit, but I think it'll improve it. The eyes are too glossy. The glossiness might be a style choice too. That might be something you did intentionally, because this is a stylistic render, obviously. So, I'm not too sure on that one, Chief. But looking good, really beautiful render. All right, last one is by. We got two more entries. I guess I can cover those real quick. Nerda. Most of your problem is just gonna be with topology, bud. You gotta make these play well together, and they are not doing that. They are intersecting, they're chopping each other up, and there's just way too many points like this where it should be a smooth, it should be a smooth piece there, but you got vertexes and stuff. It's just too low poly. I'm guessing you used hard ops on this because these look familiar, hard ops. And since you didn't use subsurf or anything, I'm guessing that's because you have really bad topology on it, aka hard ops. So yeah, it's important to just smooth that out before you use hard ops on it, because that seems to be your biggest problem with this. Is it's just so blocky. Places like this, this lights kind of feel out of place too, and none of this really feels like it's underwater. You have a water mesh up here, and I can tell it's a mesh because real waves don't have the topology intersecting like that. If you put like a bigger headlight on this or something, rotate it a bit more, up the volumetric so that we could see it fading out into the ocean behind, I think it'd look cooler like that. But as it is, you can't really say if it's underwater. It just kind of has a blue tint over everything. Also, some fish in here might look cool to help with it, and a silhouette for a person in there doesn't really suffice. If you don't want to model a person, model an interior to this at least, make it well lit, and then just have it like a showpiece. Or, the captain's off using the bathroom or something, I don't know. But, alright, next renders. Open a regional. Oh, 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. Yeah, bubbles coming from the background, bubbles coming from the back would help a lot. As Gigantothermy said. Okay, to each his own. Yeah, bubbles coming from the back would help a lot. Good idea there. Alright, this render here is brought to you by... This render here is brought to you by Ectotherm. This white screen. Okay, so basically, it looks like you used a snake brush, pulled this out, used the mirror or symmetry, and put a cool material on it. Model-wise, it's very unappealing. Shader-wise, looks alright. Lighting-wise, you got a rim light. Looks like you probably use 3-point lighting. Maybe play with it a bit more, be creative with it. It seems like so many people get stuck on using three white lights under 3-point lighting. They don't need to be white. You can add color. You can add something interesting to it. You can make some of them sharper, some softer. Be crazy. See what happens. Throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, see what sticks, you know. Next render is also by Ectotherm. Yeah, I'm going through these pretty quick now because I'm tired. And I'm also really hot and I want to turn my fan on, but that would be ear rape on the microphone, so. Oh lordy. This one's pretty good, but it's a 3D scan. And if it's not, you're the master of sculpting and texturing. But 3D scan in HDRI with a silver ball. So, I mean, let's see. Can I get away with this? No, I can't. I gotta wait for the whole darn thing to load. But I don't need to critique it in Photoshop because there's not much to say. You 3D scanned it. It came out clean. It's looking good. The HDRI looks good. There's nothing to complain about with it. It's just that she didn't really do anything, you know, creative wise. I think the new ones are mine. One sunlight. There's one sun lamp on there. Coming from the back. Okay. Get creative with the lighting. Do something interesting with it. On this render, you know, it looks good. It looks like a photo. You know, if you took this silver ball out, it would, you know, it would completely pass as a photo. Quixel, dang dude. You make Quixel very tempting. Not all in one part. The thing is I don't know anything about Quixel, so I don't know how much effort you had to put into this. I don't know if you took a picture of some rocks and this is what Quixel gave you, or if you had to go in and do a lot of manual labor or whatever. I don't know. The stretching here on that, it looks like that. Honestly, that's the only part that looks a little strange on this. Because that looks like a flat texture. And then everything else just turned out beautifully. It's not all one part. Okay. I really can't say too much about this. That there looks strange. It looks flat right there. But aside from that, it looks like a picture. It could totally pass as a photo. The sphere is low poly and it is too glossy to be real, but take out the sphere and you got a photo right there. So, looking good, looking clean. And that wraps it up, I think. So I think Derek's going to be doing next week. And he is a much better roaster than I am, to be honest. So, yeah. Hopefully this video doesn't get copyright struck. Because last time it did because he was playing music I shouldn't have been. But alrighty, I think that's gonna be it for this. Yeah, again, if you want competition prizes, if you have an idea for a competition prize, leave it in server feedback. Ping me with your idea for whatever it is. Cash is a no-no. We're not doing cash give outs, but it might be add-ons or asset packs or shader packs or an asset or something like that. Whatever it is, I'll have to be able to contact the owner and make sure they're okay with it being a prize, so I can buy it like one time and not have to buy it every week. But aside from that, I think that's it. Have a good week, everyone. Cheers.